Now, tonight's guest, you could say, has a pretty crappy job. I'm sure that's not the first time he's heard that joke, but we're throwing it out there anyway. Being the operations manager of the Nevada County wastewater facility can have its challenges. Without getting too much into the technical aspects, Brad Torres and his team have researched and modified their cleaning procedures, which not only reduces expenses, but also improves efficiency and sustainability. Since implementing the changes, the Nevada County Wastewater Department has reported savings in excess of tens of thousands of dollars annually. These savings have freed up budget resources for other critical infrastructure projects and improvements within the county. The success of Nevada County's wastewater team serves as a model for other municipalities looking to cut costs without sacrificing quality or efficiency. Their initiative showcases how innovative thinking and teamwork can lead to a substantial financial and environmental benefits. And now to tell us all about this project is Brad Torres. So Brad, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Glad that you can be here. I'm sorry about the bad joke at the very beginning. How many times have you said that? You'd be a rich man if you had a nickel for every time you heard it.
Absolutely be a rich man.
I bet. Anyway, first of all, tell me exactly what does the wastewater department do for just a brief summary, if you could.
So for Nevada County, the sanitation team, they manage 10 collection and treatment zones for Nevada County. So most of them are small jurisdictions. We don't do any management of that infrastructure inside of the cities of Grass Valley or Nevada City, or even the Tahoe Truckee area. They all have their own municipalities. But essentially, we receive the wastewater from all the homes. We take it to the treatment facilities, get it to a point where we can reintroduce it into the waterways.
Okay. And you said you have about 10 of them. Where are some of these located at, if you can, generally for me?
So in Lake Wildwood, Lake of the Pines, Cascade Shores, North San Juan, we have a couple of small treatment systems. One's in Alta Sierra. We have one out near Eden Ranch, which is off Highway 49, headed out towards North San Juan. And a couple other real small community-type treatment systems.
Okay. Now, they said that you developed a new process for treating the water. First of all, the water goes through your plant and is put back into the natural stream.
Yes.
Or into streams, creeks, canal ditches, something to carry it throughout the county.
Yeah, depending on the treatment system. Some of them are full tertiary systems, which tertiary means there's 3 treatment processes. There's a primary one that removes most of your solids. The secondary one, which removes the organics waste that are still left in there, and then a chlorine or a disinfection type. It basically takes the pathogens out of the water, which allows it to be reintroduced into the waterways. Depending on this treatment system, some of them are land application, some of them go back directly into a stream or a creek or river.
Okay. Now, just out of curiosity, what exactly have you guys come up with? What is the difference between what you were doing then and what you're doing now with your new improved project that you've developed?
So this project was done at the Lake of the Pines wastewater treatment facility. Down there, one of the portions of the treatment process, it's called an MBR, or a membrane bioreactor. And to kind of just simplify it, I mean, you think of like a filter in your home for an air filter. Essentially removes impurities. This does the same thing for water as that filter does for your air. Eventually, that filter blinds off or becomes fouled. It doesn't effectively move water across that membrane, and it has to be cleaned or replaced. The process,
much like your furnace filter,
just like your furnace filter at your house. Yeah, exactly. So staff previously, this job was daunting. It was a 7-week downtime process, required 425 man hours to complete. The units themselves have to continuously remain wet. They can't dry out because they get brittle and break. And they represent about $1 million worth of infrastructure there at the Lake of the Pines facility. So all of the work that's being done has to be taking place under sprinklers, essentially. So staff is wet for 7 weeks while they're performing the duties.
I get this vision of guys out there in raincoats or something.
That's a very accurate vision. Yeah? They are suited up and having to work in that environment as they're removing all of these plates from the unit. from the units, excuse me. So staff, obviously this is following the manufacturer's recommendations, which generally you have to do. But staff figured that there had to be a better way to tackle the problem. So they actually got together at a staff level, came up with a new plan, presented it to management and myself. And essentially the new process allows them to do most of the cleaning process inside of the basins that they're in, as opposed to pulling them out and having to saturate them like we were talking about in the rain gear type scenario. It's cut our process down from 425 man hours to about 15.
Oh my gosh.
Previously,
it's 90% or better.
Yeah, from being down
Much
7
better.
weeks, we're now down 3 days. Our water usage during the previous process, like you said, we had to run it essentially for that entire time, was about 700,000 gallons. Each time we had to take one of these basins offline. Now we utilize about 55,000 gallons. So even our water usage has been dramatically improved, using less water, which, as you mentioned earlier in the show, water usage and conservation of water is a big deal.
Hopefully that makes NID happy, So.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. And then it also frees up staff to not only participate in other projects that they'd have to put off by being a kind of an all hands on deck scenario with the membranes. They're able to free up, focus on other maintenance and operational activities, and come up with other great ideas.
So you're shut down like a week in comparison to months.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days now.
Yeah, we're able to shut down, which considering this process is a very critical portion of the treatment process for us. If we're losing 25, because there's 4 basins, so if we have a basin down, it's 25% of our plant's capacity.
Okay.
So if we get a rain event or something like that taxes the system, it turns into a very stressful operation.
Because the other 3 are overflowing or close to it.
Or reaching that capacity level, exactly. So if we're able to cut that window down to 3 days, we can plan it inside of good fair weather conditions. Avoid wet weather events, which allows us to A, reduce all of that stress, and B, make sure that our plant's running the way that it should.
Okay. Well, besides saving a whole bunch of money, man hours is money. Are you able, I don't know, I just popped in my head. Can you get a patent for this procedure? Or are you guys able to patent it and then provide it to other counties and bring in even more money for Nevada County? So
the patent probably is not likely, because it's the way the equipment is set up. We still have to run everything through the manufacturer. But what we were able to do is, prior to going through with the procedure, and even during the first time that we performed this new cleaning activity, we had the manufacturer out. They essentially got their blessing on it, so we weren't affecting any warranties or anything that's in place with the equipment itself. And they're actually doing studies on it now so that they can take and suggest it for other municipalities. So while it's not going to be a financial advantage for the county, it's given us great traction as far as our trust and relationship with the manufacturer, and then B, it should be able to help other municipalities to be able to increase their operations as well.
Other municipalities or counties that are running wastewater treatment, I guess maybe in the state, is there anybody in the state that, other than Nevada County, that's using this process?
Almost definitely. It's a common one, common
the
treatment
new process.
Well, not the process. Actually, I don't know that.
The new one that you just described, is there anyone that has taken that up? I mean, you said the process is something that everybody, of course, goes through.
Yeah. So currently, everyone else is using the old process.
So you guys are like first in the state.
We are the front runners
first in the country.
As this particular time. I couldn't say country, but I do know in our region for sure. But.
Okay. And what area does the region cover?
I haven't heard anybody inside the state of California that's done this process. But Kubota is the manufacturer of these membranes. They're a worldwide manufacturer. They were not aware of anyone else using the process either. So, like I said, I can't definitively say we're the only ones, but I do know that as far as the feedback we received from the manufacturer, this was a new process, because they had to basically approve it, and they hadn't heard of it before. So we were happy about that.
Now, the estimate I had in my little introduction was tens of thousands annually. Do you have a closer figure?
I do.
About how much money you're saving per year?
So between the water savings and the manpower savings, and even the power, because we're having to run and pump water and relocate water out of the basins. It's about $23,000 a basin, $23,250 a basin each time, and we have to do 4 basins a year. So we're saving around $93,000 annually with this new process versus the old.
Okay. Now, has Nevada City has its own waste treatment plant? Nevada City has their own also? Or do you
City
guys,
of Grass Valley and Nevada City, they do have their.
they share one,
They both
or
have
they
their
each
own.
have their
Yep.
own individual. Have either of them started using this procedure? Have they?
So I don't believe they use the Kubota
Or do they know
membranes.
you're doing it? Oh, they don't use the.
yeah,
This
so
is particular to the ones made by
to
Kubota.
those Kubota membranes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't believe so.
As someone who lives in Grass Valley, I hope they're trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, we're working, actively working on reaching out to neighboring jurisdictions. We just entered into a mutual agreement with Nevada City to kind of share resources and ideas so that we're able to help each other be kind of at the top of our game.
How long have you been using this new system?
It has been in place for about 1.5 years.
Oh, so roughly, I mean, you're talking saving $150,000, $140,000.
So far, yeah.
And then the money is put back into the general fund, do you know, or?
So the sanitation district is unique. Where it's called the special dependent district.
Oh, okay.
So we're strictly rate funded, and all funds generated from those rates have to go back into the zone and the infrastructure that they're deemed for. So it's not a general fund pool, but what it does, it allows us to take that and reinvest it into our aging infrastructure.
All right, good enough. Anything else you want to add in closing to this?
No, just kind of the general process. The county as a whole has really been looking at a high performance organization like HPO philosophy. That's kind of what spurred a lot of the ideas that came and led to this particular one with the membranes. Pushing ideas and pushing decisions down the chain so that it's not just essentially me sitting in a box somewhere at the root making the decisions for everyone. It's where the action is actually happening. Allow those folks to have a larger say in what is making their jobs easier, what's making them more efficient, and it's really catching on. It's allowing us to kind of advance as a department much faster than any one person would be able to take.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you. I noticed that at the end of the year they always have Employee of the Year, Group of the Year, whatever. Did you guys get an award from the county for this yet?
So this will be in next year's pool.
All right.
But we will be looking for a Team of the Year because it is pretty innovative.
All right.
Ideas. Yeah.
County CEO, officer, all of you, Board of Supervisors, these are your winners right here. So anything else that you want to add?
I don't believe so. I really appreciate you having us on. Anytime we're able to talk good things about wastewater, we appreciate it.
And have somebody make bad jokes right off the bat for you, right? I know. That's part of, I guess, television.